evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. Well, tonight we're going to have some fun because we are going to be playing with the Spring Forest die set. And I spent a lot of time in the Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends Facebook group, and I've noticed that a lot of people are having a little bit of problem figuring out how the plates work and what die cut pieces go with what other die cut pieces. And so what I thought I would do is I would make all of the little elements with you tonight, and I created a template for you, a document, kind of a style guide or a die guide for you, and I already uploaded it onto the blog under the templates and charts place on our blog. So I've already linked that here in the Facebook group, and I already saw Brianne. Hi Brianne Loveland, thank you so much for all your help. Brianne already linked it too in the chat thread, but I know lots of people are coming in, so maybe Brianne, you can share it a couple times here and there. But I want to show you all of the different things that I have going here. But before we do that, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
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 Hey, where are you?
Where am I?
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
We had our computer just go berserk today, and we had to upload, I guess there was a new setting, right? Or a new, what do they call that? Like an update we had to do?
Yeah, we've been like chasing the gremlins, so we should be fine.
Yeah.
What's the name of that set you're using?
Spring Forest.
Spring Forest.
Yeah.
Is that like Black Forest chocolate cake?
It's not. I'm so sorry.
Doesn't that sound like a good card?
It does. Absolutely. Well, do you have a word of the day for everybody later?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sort of. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to show everybody what I made for them today. Okay. So I made you this. This is the Spring Forest die set guide. And this is, you can either refer to it on the website if you want. I'll get Sammy to post this on the product page too sometime tomorrow. But this is on the blog right now as a downloadable PDF. And if you look real close, let me zoom in just a little bit here, see if I can do that. What I did was I created this document so this will help you figure out what all these different things are, right? So people were asking, like, I don't know what all the things on this die are. I don't know what is this thing, or where's the bunny tail? This guide will help you. Now, I need to find the die set. Here it is. Let me show you what the die set looks like. I'm going to zoom back out again because I'm going to be way too close. Okay, so here's what the die set looks like. So when you get your die set, you will have a picture of everything. And then if you download this, you can fold this in half and keep it right in there with you, and you will have exactly what you need. Or you can add a tab in your binder. We've been working on the Master Layouts binder. You can add a tab in your binder for some of these types of things. And I'll continue to do these as we do die sets like this that might be a little bit complicated, and I think this will be real helpful. Now, one thing I wanted to show you is that these dies, or these pictures on here, are pretty close, if not exactly, to actual size. And I thought that would be helpful too, because sometimes, you know, if it's not the right size, it might be a little harder to recognize. So hopefully this will be very helpful in creating all these little bits and pieces. So today what I thought we would do is we could all take a piece of cardstock and we could cut it down to 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and we could make one of everything so that you have living versions of all of these different pieces that you've actually experienced putting together. And then you'll have that you can either store with your die set, or you know, you can leave it out, you can hang it on the wall, whatever. But sometimes actually doing it once together is really helpful. And if you can't keep up with me tonight, that's totally fine. You'll have this video to refer back to, and you can pause it in between the steps, and you can kind of create your own little elements. And then I thought we could pop them all up on this blue sheet of cardstock, and we'd have our own little living guide. We'd have our little labeled guide, and then we'd have this color picture. So we have everything that we need. All right, so let's start first with the idea of how this guide works. Now, I originally, when I rolled this out, I told everybody that I put these little tiny dies on these little plates because honestly, can you imagine if I had dies that tiny, single dies? You know, we'd all be dropping them on the floor. They'd be in the vacuum. They'd be, stuck to things and magnets that we have on our desk. It would be a mess. So what I decided to do is group them by color. So this way, when you're going to cut out something in white, you can cut out all these pieces at the same time. Here, I did these, and you could cut these out in the same color. Now, one thing that I thought might be helpful is, let's see here. Let me just grab something here. Sorry, I don't mean to turn around, but all right, for example, this plate right here, which is this big plate right here, it's flipped over, so you can see it's kind of the opposite. What I thought we could do is we could color this in to match the colors that these were designed to be cut out with. Now, of course, you can cut these out in any colors you want. But here we have leaves, the carrot top. The hole for the birdhouse I've actually been cutting in brown, and I like it a little bit better, but when I first designed it, I did it in green. But if it's helpful to you, you can take a colored pencil and you can just shade these in green. So this way you know that, oh yeah, there's the leaves. I got to grab some green cardstock. And I'm just shading them in like just a real light green. All right, so that might be a helpful thing for you to do once you print out your style guide or your die guide. I didn't really know what to call it, but I just called it the die set guide. So, I just colored those in a little bit in green. Let's find a color here. This one has the chick's beak, the chick's feet, the flower. Now you see this is the flower center. Over here is the flower. This is the flower center. But it can also, for people watching on an iPhone, so you don't have to get a magnifying glass, this could also be the little cheeks of the bunny, or if you wanted to put cheeks on the chick, you could cut 2 of these out for that. So I gave you some alternate ideas. And then just to make it easy, I'm going to color all of these in orange. I might take a little Gamsol and go over them just to smooth out my color. You could also use a Copic marker if you want to take your time and color it nicely. But I'm coloring that orange because I would be using it for the center of the flower today and most of the time. But again, just like this hole here, I originally did it in green. I thought it would look good in green, and now I'm liking it more in brown. If you want to use this for the cheeks of the bunny or the chick, you can do them in pink. You could do them in any color you want. All right, now for the bow, let me grab some colored pencils over here so I don't have to keep turning around, because that's kind of a pain. All right, so for the bow, or the bow tie, and the flower, I'm going to be cutting mine out in pink. And so I'm just going to color these in pink. Now, for the bow, that would go in the little chick's hair up here. But the bow tie would be really cute on the fox. So if you wanted him to have a little bow tie, you can use the same image for both of those things. So I'm coloring this one in pink, just so I remember what color that's going to be. Now the bunny ears, bunny feet, and bunny tail are all going to be white. I'm just going to leave that. Now down here, these would all be in black. A black pencil. I don't know that I want to color all this in black, but I'll just do a light shading in black. Just a little light shading, just so I remember. And this is the nose and the nose for the bunny. It's also the nose for the fox. The chick doesn't have a nose, it has a beak. So that's something to remember. And I'll color these little eyeballs in. And these are the fox's ears.
Some people are having audio problems, but not all.
Okay. Uh-oh. So not all. Interesting. If you go out and come back in, that might fix the problem for you. Okay. So now this one here, I would suggest doing all of these in red. We have the wing of the bird, the apple, the heart, and this heart could be for the birdhouse. It could also be for the bunny to hold. And then this is the bottom of the birdhouse. Instead of having it up here because it was really like as a single piece, because it was really tiny, and also because I was thinking that it would look really good in red, I put it on the red plate. And then this is the beak of the bird, really tiny. So I'm just going to color all these in here in red. And also, sometimes, I don't know, I don't know who's having trouble. Was it on YouTube or Facebook, Tom? Could you tell?
Well, I went into YouTube. I went into YouTube and it was cutting out, and I went out and came back in and it was fine.
Okay, so that's the trick. Go out, come back in, and you'll be good. Okay, so that's our first little assignment, is just to color those in, just so that we have got a little bit of a colorful chart. Now, I could have colored them in, but I didn't think of it when I made the template. And some of you may not want to color yours in, because you may not want to be like in your head, like I have to use red. Because honestly, if you wanted to make your tree or your branch an autumn branch, you could cut these out in honey mustard and brown and all that kind of thing. So, okay, yeah, YouTube is a little crazy right now. I don't know. I've had a few little problems with it lately. Oh, good. Well, some people are saying it's fine, and that fixed the problem. All right, so now the other thing I want to tell you about these dies is that these little animals, like the fox, you're going to cut out the first piece in the color of the animal. So you would cut the fox out in red if you wanted a red fox, or gray if you wanted a gray fox. Cut the bunny out in white or gray, whatever color you want your bunny to be, and you cut your chick out in yellow if that's what you wanted it to be. Same with the bird. Pick a color that you want the bird to be. But then we're going to kind of paper piece some of the additional little images on top of that full cutout body. It makes it a little bit easier, and it also helps if you want to pop the image up. Now, almost all of these images can be popped up. You can pop up some of the other images that are in pieces like this birdhouse, but what I would suggest is if you want to do that, just use a little piece of Scotch tape on the back to hold everything in place together. Or you could do that on a piece of terrific tape, which I think I demonstrated, and then you can pop it up. But I thought that the birdhouse and the branch and the leaves could be right on the card, and then we could have things popped up on top of those. So that's what we'll do tonight, but you certainly can pop them up with just either, working on a little piece of terrific tape or on a piece of Scotch tape. Okay, so let's start with the fox. We'll do the fox first. And I'm going to be using my mini die cutting machine today because all of these dies are very tiny. So when I use my mini die cutting machine, I always like to use a grip mat underneath. These little die cutting machines, all little die cutting machines, unless they've got suction on the bottom, which not too many of them have, will slide around a little bit because they are kind of light. So if you put them on your grip mat, that'll hold them in place and it'll be really easy to die cut. So I cut out a bunch of different colors here, just quarter sheets of cardstock. Well, actually, I went through my scrap box and I grabbed a bunch of them. And we're going to start with this tomato soup. I thought tomato soup would be a great color for the fox. It's a great, and another color that's really good for the fox is faded brick. Now, if you don't have cardstock in colors and you just have white, don't worry about it. All you have to do is take your ink pad and either swipe color onto a piece of white cardstock or use a blending brush and blend color onto the cardstock. This way you can have whatever color you want. And if you want a more shaded look to your die cut, where maybe it's highlighted in the middle a little bit, you can do kind of a circular ink blending and then position your die so that like the center of the body gets a little bit lighter and it's a little darker around the perimeter. So don't be afraid to use ink if you don't have colored cardstock. So I'm going to cut out this little fox first, and then we're going to cut out all the pieces that go with the little fox. So here he is.
You have a request for add-on set to this die set.
Oh yeah? What would you... Well, you guys have to tell me what you would like to see added on. Okay, so now I have this one done. Now I'm going to do the fox cheeks and the fox tail. And I'm going to do that using white cardstock. You can also use ivory. You can use skeleton leaves. You can use barely there, some of our real light pale colors. But I decided to go with white because I want some bright white. Now, since I am already running white through the die cutting machine, I can also run this plate with the bunny ears, the bunny tail, and the bunny feet all through at the same time as I do these. This way I'm cutting all my white out at one time. And I can also cut the bunny out of white at the same time too. Not because I want a white bunny. I definitely want a gray bunny, but I want a white belly on the bunny. So we did the belly as a separate die cut piece that's going to fall out of the bunny. This way, if you want a full gray bunny and you want him to have a gray belly, just paper piece that belly right back in there and you're fine. But if you want to do two different colors and have a white belly, and that's what I want to have a white belly. So I'm going to put the bunny there. I'm going to put this little plate with the bunny ears, the bunny feet, and the bunny tail. And then I'm going to do the fox's tail. Ooh, I have a cloud too. The fox's tail, the fox's cheeks, and I'm going to do the cloud too because they're all going to be white pieces. So we're going to do this all at once. I think they're the only white pieces. Yes, they're the only white pieces. Okay, so let's run it through.
Okay, so squirrel,
A squirrel.
horse, elephant,
Oh, those would all be really cute.
panda, frogs, hedgehogs, bear,
They all sound very cute. Good ideas.
baby
Okay.
elephant.
Write all those down, Tom. All right, so up here, oh, I'm in the way here. Can you move me out of the way for a second, Tom, so I can show them this? All right, so I've got the belly up here. I'm just kind of like, I poked that out. Now I'm going to keep this bunny for another project because maybe I'll do a white bunny and I'll do a pink belly, or I'll do a white bunny with a gray belly. So I'll keep that for another project. And then all of these little pieces, I'm just going to pop out right here and save them. All right. And then I need this one too. This is the other bunny ear. So we need that as well. And I'll show you how to put all these together. Okay. So we don't want to lose anything. So I'm just putting them all up here. So we're done with this plate. And we can put this plate back. We're done with the cloud. We're done with the cheeks and the tail. And we're not quite done with the bunny. So while I have the bunny out, I'm going to pick a gray. I've got a little bit of soft stone right here. I'm just going to trim it down. And I'm going to cut the bunny out one more time using this piece of soft stone. All right. This mini die cutting machine is such a blessing to have when you're doing this kind of die cutting. It's just so quick and fun. I love it. It's really convenient too. I think you will love this. Now here, if I wanted to take this belly and I wanted to put it in this bunny, I can do that. And you'll see how they piece together. So I would lay that there, and then I would just pop that belly right into the center. So now there's a white bunny with a gray belly. So I'll just save that, like I said, for another card. And we're going to use our gray one today. Okay, so we've got gray, white, and this. Oh, I forgot the little feet too. Here's the little feet that just came out of this piece of white cardstock. The bunny feet. So I think we have enough to do the basic bunny and the fox. So let's start with those. We're going to do those first, just so that we can, you know, not lose any pieces, okay? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we'll get all our little white pieces here. And I'll zoom in, and we'll do this together. Okay. So I'm going to use some Connect glue for this. It definitely pays to have Connect glue in a fine tip bottle when you're doing this kind of thing, because it really will allow you to just put glue where you want it. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we're not blurry. Oh, owls would be cute. All right, so I'm going to use my tweezers because it is very convenient to use the tweezers when you're putting the glue on. And I'm just going to do some little dots of glue on here, like that. Okay, can you see those on there? And then I'm going to line that up right along the bottom here of his face. Now the Connect glue gives you wiggle room, so once you have it in place, you can wiggle it right into place, right to the edge. And there we have his cute little cheeks. All right. So now we're going to do the tail next. Do the same thing. A couple little dots of glue. And we will add the tail. There. And again, if it's not perfect, you know, you've got wiggle room because you're using liquid glue. Okay, so there's two. You definitely need a grip mat. If you have a little die cutting machine, you need the grip mat. You will love it. All right. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of masking magic. Now this is a little trick I want to show you. Let me find my my skinnier masking magic. I've got some here. Well, I thought I had some. Oh yeah, here's some. Down here, way down here at the bottom.
Quick question from Brenda. Are these about the same size as the Woodland Friends Stamp and Die? Just wondering if you could combine these.
I think you could, Brenda. I definitely think you could. They're pretty close in size. Yeah, these are designed definitely for cards, and so they're small images. Now, what I'm going to suggest that you do is take a little bit of masking magic and put it right in between the hands of the bunny, like that. Okay, like that. And the reason is because masking magic is tacky, but it doesn't tear the paper, and it will allow his hands to not necessarily stick, you see? So this way we can get in there and put different things in his hands. But we do want the belly to stick pretty well. So here is where I would recommend, let me see if I have any. Well, I don't have any, but I'll use this instead. I would recommend Scotch tape because I think Scotch tape is a very rated craft supply in your craft room, but I took mine out of here to put it in my office. But you can also use something like the Terrific tape, which is much stickier. All right, and so I'm going to put a little bit of Terrific tape right here on him. And this is going to help us stick the belly onto that, but it keeps the hands free, see? So the belly is going to stick to these side areas. I don't know if you can see that. The belly's going to stick to these side areas where the terrific tape is. But in here with this 1/4 inch masking magic, that's going to allow the hands to continue to open. All right. And now we can take the belly, because we want to be able to put something in there, whether it's a carrot or a heart or a flower or any other cute little stamp that you have in your collection. Maybe a little embellishment. You guys have like little stars and things like that in your collection. If you were making a birthday card, maybe you were making a birthday card and you wanted him to hold something like that. So, okay. So now I'm going to paper piece this in here with that Connect glue and stick it down. But we want to make sure that we can still open his hands, and we can. See? We could still open up his hands to get something in there. All right, so hopefully that helps you guys when it comes to the belly, and then how on the back, now the belly is secure. And just, I wouldn't take this off. You can tape over it and stick it down. You can put a foam square on there and pop it up. If you do want to stick this directly to your card, then you can take that off, because that's going to be really sticky. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do the feet. Okay, and so this is what the feet look like that. And what I would recommend for the feet is to just put a little bit of glue right on the gray part itself. That's way more glue than I needed. A little bit of glue right on the gray part. And then I would use your pick and stick tool or some sort of jewel picker. I had it in my hand a minute ago. Here it is. Some sort of jewel picker. And then pick these up as if they were embellishments and then place them where they need to be. All right? Just like that. This makes it a lot easier than trying to, do it with your fingers or doing it even with a tweezer. You can just kind of finagle it in there with the picker side of your tool, and that's a really easy way to get those feet on there. All right, next we're going to do the same thing with the tail. We're just going to put a couple dots of glue on there for the tail. And this tail is upside down, so we want to flip it over with the jewel picker. And I always just pull off any glue that gets stuck on my wax tip. If you've never used the pick and stick tool, one thing that I would highly recommend is not pressing down too hard on it. It's wax, and so it'll crack. It'll break if you press too hard on it. It's not meant to you don't have to push down on it to get it to stick. You just have to touch it to the thing to get it to stick. Just touch it. Same with your sequins and your embellishments. Just touch it to them and try to go straight up and down. So, straight up and down like this. If you try to go sideways, it doesn't really work. So you don't want to do it like it's a pencil. You want to go straight up and down on it. That's the way it works the best. All right, and then we're going to pop that on there and just get it into place like that. So now he's got a cute little tail. And sometimes I use the end of my jewel picker if there's any glue that seeps out. I just wipe it, and then later you can clean that off with a little rubbing alcohol. Okay, now we've got two different looks for the ears. Okay, so we've got one ear that looks like a little triangle, and that goes on the bent ear, because the illusion is that this is curving down, and so you're only going to get to see the little bottom there. And this one over here is the full ear, right? So there we go. It's the full ear. So you can do this a number of ways, but I would suggest just putting a little bit of glue on there. Probably don't need quite that much. And then a little bit of glue right here too. And I think what happens with the glue is it starts to dry on the tip. So clean that off every once in a while if you're not capping your glue right away. But you don't need a ton of glue. You can see I dabbed a lot of that off. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pick up that ear and stick it in there. And then this ear, I'm going to do it like around the same spot. But now that gives the illusion that that ear is kind of folded over, right? Okay. All right, so we've got our two little babies there ready for faces, and we're going to put them aside. And we're going to work on the next little animal. Let's clean that off. We're going to work on the chick next. So I'm going to put this back so that I don't lose it, and I'm going to bring my mat back, and I'm going to zoom out again because I am way too close for die cutting. Alrighty, so we'll get this on here. There we go. And we're going to cut out the chick next using some yellow. And the other yellow item would be the sun. So why don't we cut those out at the same time? And I'm going to use some wild dandelion for both of those. I only need a little bit here. So we'll cut the chick and we'll cut the sun out. Probably could get them really close together here and not waste much. Probably get 3 sets on here. And if you don't know what to make, it's great just to sit and cut these little bits and pieces. It's very fun and relaxing, and you can store them all in a little container, and then you can have them ready for whenever you're ready to make some cards. So there we've got the sun, and there we have the little chickadee. So next we need to do some of the parts that we need for the chick, and that would be in an orange color. So I'm going to get a little piece of orange here off to the side. I've got some tangerine twist. You can use tangerine twist or sweet mango, whatever you want. But the only orange parts are actually, let me find my little thing here, is this one right here. And that looks like this. So you can see it's the reverse. But when you cut it out, it looks like that. Okay, so we're going to cut this one out in orange. And that's going to give us the beak. It's going to give us the little feet. It's going to give us the center of a flower. And it's going to give us, I think, did I say the carrot? It's going to give us the carrot. So let's get these little pieces out. And I'm going to poke them out right here. So that is a foot. This is a foot. That's a beak, and that's a carrot. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when I was a little kid and I had color forms or paper dolls. I think it's so fun to just do this little tiny piecing work. And I know it seems a little bit tedious maybe to some of you. And one thing I will say is that if, doing the eyes or doing the legs on the little bird is too tedious, if you choose not to do that, that's totally fine. You can always just take embellishments like little black pearls, or you can use, you can use whatever you want. You can just use a Sharpie or a Copic marker and just draw 2 eye dots. So if some of it is too small for you, like you could color these in orange if you wanted to, these feet. You don't have to do this part. But if you are somebody that really enjoys paper crafting, and this is definitely more paper crafting than stamping, I would say, just take your time and have a little bit of fun and do what you need to do. Enjoy it. So the feet, let me look at this little plate here and I'll tell you. So the feet, actually the wide part of these little triangles goes toward the bottom. So it looks like 2 little, well, they look like duck feet, but see how they kind of they swoop out like that? I don't know if you can see that, but they will match these feet. So once again, we're going to do this the same way. We're going to put a tiny drop of glue on each of these. And if you have too much, just kind of wipe the little bit of excess away. And then we're going to pop these feet into place. There's one foot. And there's the other foot. Now, again, you can use the stick part of your pick and stick tool. If you don't have a pick and stick tool and you've got some other tool and it doesn't have this end on it, you can always use like a paper piercer. Even a pin would work. But we just want to get those in place. There we go. Okay, so we have two cute little orange feet there. And now we're going to put his beak on. So we'll just pick a spot to put the beak on. And then the beak does have a right side and a wrong side, like an up and a down. So kind of look for the smile to be at the bottom. Okay, so the little swoop, that's going to go at the bottom. And we'll just pop that on there. All right, looking good. Okay. So now I'm going to put him up here, and I'm going to just put that flower and that carrot away. And the reason why I'm doing these in stages like this is because when you get so many little pieces laying around, it's kind of easy to, like, I don't know, like get your hand in the way or your sleeve and knock a bunch off. So it's kind of nice to just do them little bits at a time. All right, so now we're going to move to pink. And pink could be the cheeks. So remember, I said here that this flower center could also be cheeks. So we can cut two of those with pink. And then we can also cut the bow and the flower with pink. All right, so the color I've chosen for that, I believe this is Dusty Rose. This is such a pretty color. So I'm going to use a little Dusty Rose for this, but of course you can use any pink. It could be purple. You could do whatever you want when it comes to the bow or the bow tie. But I'm going to do, well, I'll put these two. Let me put them up here. I'll just do them right there together. And then I'm going to cut two of the cheeks, because I definitely want to do cheeks on my bunny. That. There we go. Hopefully, did I drop the cheek? Oh, I think I did. Well, that's all right. We'll cut another one. So I'm going to poke these out here. Make sure I have everything. Remember, sometimes check the other side because sometimes it pokes out, but it doesn't totally let go. These are feet and beaks, and we don't really need those, and we don't need this carrot either. But I just wanted to do cheeks. So, see? And I dropped it. Now, can you imagine? Oh, here it is, though. It's right here. So
wow,
I'll keep that
found
one.
it.
I did.
I was going to say, you need some kind of drop or sneeze insurance with this project.
Yeah, you don't want to sneeze. You're right. You don't want to sneeze. And then I don't need to keep all these other little parts, and I don't think I'll use them, but I think I'm going to get rid of them. So I don't need these other little beaks and stuff, unless you want to have pink beaks, but you know, somebody might want to do it. But I'm not going to keep them because I just know that I won't be using them. So I'm going to just throw them away and get them out of here so that I don't mix things up. All right, so again, I'm just going to put that aside. And now we're going to put the bow in the hair. So it doesn't matter which direction you put it in. You could put it in this way, you know, so that the points are up like that. I'll zoom in a little bit here too. There we go. You could do that. You could, you know, put it off to the side if you want. And again, I want to show you how cute it looks as a little bow tie for the fox. You know, you could put it right up there against his little neck. You could flip it around the other way for the fox. I feel like for the fox, it would be better that way because it won't get in the way of his face too much. Just to have it down there.
You got any zoom left?
Am I really close?
No. Get closer.
Oh, you want me to get closer? Well, I just don't want it to be blurry. Is that blurry?
Looks good.
Okay. All right. So there we go. So now I'm going to do the cheeks on the bunny. So it kind of has like a cutout here. You know, it kind of gets a little chubby there. So you can put your cheeks wherever you want. I'm just going to stick them in here like that. And then I'm going to just do a little glue up here for the bow. And I always like to put the glue down, and it's nice if you can give it just a second to get a little tacky, because then everything releases from your pick and stick tool really easy. So we'll pick that up and we'll put that there, little cheek, and right in there, another cheek. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. And then we're going to flip this around and we're going to do the little bow right up here at the top. I might move it down a little bit just so you could see a little more of the hair. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So we're coming along, right? All right, and then if you want, you can assemble your flower, because we've got a pink flower and then we have an orange center here. So I might as well do that now so I don't lose that orange center. And we could cut more flowers. And if you don't want to use the center of the flower, you could pop a metallic pearl or a rainbow pearl or even a sequin in there instead if you want. But remember, when dies get cut out, sometimes they're like a little puffy. You know what I mean? So you do want to oh, did I lose it? I did. Here it is. You do want to press down in the center to make sure that it makes contact with the flower. All right, so there we go. Might have been cuter to do yellow in there instead of orange. Might have been a little brighter, but we'll go with this today. Okay, I'm zooming out again. So next, we're going to work on the bird. So I'm going to cut the bird with some craft. My jewel picker wants to roll. It doesn't matter where I put it on the table, it wants to roll in the opposite way. So we're going to cut out the bird with some craft ink, but then some craft cardstock. But then we're also going to cut out the little birdhouse. So I'm going to cut this piece of the birdhouse with craft as well. I think they're my only craft pieces. And again, if you want to color those or you want to write on there what colors you like, you can do that. But I thought if we actually made all the pieces first together, then you would have that kind of symbolically to be able to go back to again and again, that 3D version that you created. All right, so we've got our bird and we've got our little house. Now I'm going to put the bird and the house aside, and then next we're going to get into the black parts. So there's a couple different black parts that we're going to need. We're going to need this, and this is the fox's legs, the nose of the fox, the eyes, the fox's ears, the bird legs. We're going to cut all of that, and we might want to cut several of those because we're going to need a lot of eyeballs, right? Because we've got a bird that needs one eyeball, and then we've got 3 other animals that each need 2 eyeballs. So let's just start with one. We'll do that first. Let's do that first. Okay, and then we want to get all these little pieces popped out. So let's see if I can pop them through the plate. Oh, the plate came up. All right, well, there's one eyeball. One. The other eyeball is stuck in the plate. Well, it was. Now, where did it go? Oh, we'll worry about that later. That'll be the bird eye. Oh, there's the other one. So we're just popping all of these little pieces out, and I'm going to get to them right away. I'm not going to sit around and wait to lose these. So we're going to do that next. Okay, all right, the big zoom again. The big zoom in. Got some things here so we can see. Is that good? That's good. Boy, my hand's going to look so big. All right, so I've got all these little pieces, plus I've got dust in there too, and that happens. Okay, move these out of the way. So now I'm going to start with the legs of the fox. So the way the fox's legs work, and it seems weird, but this long one, where the foot kind of looks like it's upside down, goes on the back leg. Okay? And then this one goes on the front, right here on this leg. And then this one goes on this leg. Now, when you look at this, you might think because this is a longer leg that this one goes on this leg, but it doesn't, because this here, the body would cover that up so you wouldn't be able to see that. But here you're looking at the front, so you would see a longer leg. All right? So that's why I think it's good to kind of make these and keep it sitting out so that when you have these parts, it's real easy for you to see where they go. You know, the little template that you're going to print out, the little document that you're going to print out, shows you what the plates are, but it doesn't show you how to assemble them. So by assembling them, you're going to be able to always refer to that. You're going to look and go, oh yeah, that's where that leg goes. So here I'm just putting some glue on the legs. And then I'm going to give that just a minute. You know what? While we're waiting for that, I'm going to also do up here, because we're going to put the ears on the fox too. And I'll be good. I'll cap my glue. Okay. So let's start with this leg right here. We're going to pop that on. And then you can see that now that looks like it's behind, like his body is kind of covering that up. And then this one would be the front leg. Like that. And then this one is going to go right here. And we'll clean up that glue. And there we go. We've got those cute little legs on there. Now we're going to do the ears. All right. We're going to do the ears. So sometimes with little die cut pieces like this too, you've got to kind of clean them off because they're so tiny. You see how like some of the dust is coming off of them on the sides? So you can just kind of rub them in your hands and that'll come off. Or you can kind of just scrape around the edge with your pick and stick tool. Okay, so there we go. I'll put this one on first over here. Like that. And then we'll put this one over here like that. All right. Now we've got the birds, so we're going to put the bird's legs on, and we're also going to put the little nose on the fox. So there's the little nose that's going to go on the fox. So that's going to go right here, and it's going to cover up this little bar that's connecting the two sets of cheeks. And then we'll just get a little glue on these little legs. And again, if this is too tiny for you, you can always just use a marker to do it. But yeah, like this would be a really cute little card for like a grandchild or, you know, somebody that's special to you that you know. Like I always tell the story that my mom, when my mom passed away and my sister and I were cleaning out her apartment, we found a box, and in the box was all the handmade cards I had ever made for her. She kept those. She didn't really keep store-bought cards, but all the handmade cards were really, really precious to her. So, you know, I know these are like tedious little cards to make, but I love them and they are super cute, and I think people really appreciate the time that goes into them, and people will save them. All right, so we've got the little stick legs on there. So we've got that done. All right, now these eyes, we'll use these two eyes. We'll put them on, let's put them on the fox. Well, I've got the fox out here. So we're just going to put one dot there and one dot there. And then we'll pop the eyeballs on.
So Gina.
Yes.
I wonder if you could put adhesive on these before you cut the dies, put some release paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible so that you can just pull these things out of the die and stick them on?
Possibly. I don't know.
What would you use for like a release paper?
There might be something called release paper that you can buy.
You know, that real shiny, slippery stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look into that and see.
Would that mess up the die, you think?
Well, if it's waxy, it would. You don't want to ever use wax paper on your dies, because a lot of people say to do that it makes things release easier, but that actually will, over time, it gunks up the blade and it makes the die not want to cut very well.
Oh, and the adhesive probably would be a problem too, huh?
It could, yeah. It could over time.
All right, back to the dead space.
Okay, so I'm not going to do the chick's eyes. I have one done over here just so that we don't have to like go through the pain of all of that again. And I'm not going to cut out another nose or another pair of eyes for that. I'm just going to replace it with this bunny that I have right here, okay? I don't have any cheeks on this bunny, but I might have a bunny with cheeks. But you can see like what. That seems like a lot of cutting reason tonight after you've already seen the eyes go on once. But now we're going to cut the red parts, and the red parts are right here. It is the wing of the bird, the bottom of the house, the apple, the beak, and the heart. So I'm going to cut those out right now. Okay. Oh, I'm way too close. Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, there may be some kinds of release paper that would work, but I'm not aware of any that crafters use, so I'd really have to look into that. Do some research. In my spare time, do some research. Okay, so I'm going to cut out the little beak there. And then we've got the heart, the bottom of the house, the apple, and the wing. So let's put the bird together. It's really about these animals that I wanted to show you tonight and how to put them together. Some of the other stuff is pretty self-explanatory. So, tiny beak, wing. So look how tiny this beak is. It's so tiny. And I don't even know that there's a right way or a wrong way to put it on. I think any direction that you put it on, it's going to work because it's so little. It's just a little triangle. And then we'll add the wing onto there. I want the wing to kind of be like that. And then all you would need would be an eye. And so that's what that will look like when it's done, when you just add the eye on there. All right, so we'll save that guy for another time. Now let's put together the house. So the house, we're going to need a couple more pieces. And then, you know what? I didn't have a, I I have a little piece of masking magic back here. I'm going to pull that off and I'm going to set this one up the way the other one is, because I want to show you how the little, this was just my little test. Okay, I want to show you how to insert something into his hands. So let me find my masking magic that I put somewhere. I know it's around here. Here it is. So again, I just had some masking magic that I put right down the center of that bunny. And then I used some terrific tape. I know I'm not in the scene here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I put the masking magic right down the center of the bunny. This way those little hands would still open. And then I've got this terrific tape that I'm going to put on the rest to hold everything in place. Right there, right over the body. And then, because that's terrific tape, you don't even really need to put any glue. You just need to paper piece that belly in there. Like that. It's going to make it stick. And then again, you know, these little hands will open. Maybe I should have used a little glue. But those hands will open and we're going to be able to slip something in there. Okay. So next we're going to cut out the rest of the house, which is the roof. We need the roof. We need the little black hanging chain. And if we wanted to, we could cut this circle out in brown. Now, I have it listed here in green, but I like it in brown. I already have one cut out in brown, so we're just going to go with the one that I have cut out. And I just need a little bit of warm cocoa here. Actually, I think I want to do the roof of the house in teal. I'm going to use tranquil teal for the roof of the house. I think that will be prettier. So we'll cut the roof of the house first. And then we're going to cut a black chain to hang it. Okay. So there we go. There's the roof. And then we need another little piece of black, which I have over here. And we're going to cut out the chain. And when I say the chain, I mean the little hanger that you hang the birdhouse from the branch of the tree. And then I do have some pieces pre-cut, which I thought would be easier than, you know, cutting every little thing, even though I've already been cutting every little thing. So we can kind of assemble our little guide that we want to have. There we go. That is such a delicate piece right there. Okay, so now let's assemble all of this, and I've got some other bits and pieces already cut. If you guys watched on release party night, you may have seen that I cut a whole ton of these little bits and pieces. Now, I don't know if I have a branch or not. I probably don't. So I probably need a branch to cut out. But I will show you what it all looks like. So let's get our little board here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a few little foam squares to just pop these guys up. So I'm using the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch foam squares. You could glue them right to your board if you want, but I feel like having them popped up just makes them stand out a little bit more off of the cardstock. So I'm just going to put him right down here. Okay, and then my little chick is going to go on next. I think That will be fine. Remember, this is just for my reference. I'm making a little reference sheet. Next, we're going to have the bunny. I really like the bunny with the cheeks. I might put the face on the bunny. I'm going to use my original bunny with the cheeks, and I'll put the face on later. Ooh, I have a bunny with cheeks. I see one. Here's one. We're going to use this one. There we go. Bunny with cheeks. Okay. Then we're going to put together this tree. Remember, we're not really building a scene. We're just putting all the parts together so we can see what they look like as a reference guide. And we're going to pop the tree together like this. I didn't need to put the glue on the bottom, so I'm going to just pick it up and do that. Get the glue off of there. And then, there we go. Then I'm going to use some foam squares to pop it up. And a tiny one for down here. I always cut my foam squares in half. Sometimes you don't need much, but you need something. This one will work.
Can you still get away with calling them foam squares?
Foam rectangles. Foam rectangles. All right, so Tom, I see people like screaming for the word of the day. Not necessarily screaming, but...
Going to be a quick one.
Okay.
I'm going to get in and get out.
Okay.
For my own protection. Okay, so this is a word that describes one of those wonderful people who use a telephone to call when you're in the middle of something really important, and they pretend they're somebody they're not, and they try to scam you.
Oh, God, yes.
And that would be, of course, a phony.
That's great. That's exactly perfect. That's what they should be called. Why are they called spammers?
Back to the dead space.
Oh my goodness. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm just building this little house right onto this area. I just want to make sure I have room, and I do. Okay, you can see how this comes together pretty easily, right? A little bit of glue here. We're just going to glue this piece right on. Right on like that. So you want to kind of overlap that onto that hook. And then we're going to do this. And that's going to slip right under there. We can straighten it out a little bit. And then this little piece, boy, this is one of those where I'm just going to do a little line under here, and I'm going to pick this up with my pick and stick tool and try to place it. Ooh, it flipped over. Right in there. Okay. So now we've got that. Now in my little box of tricks here, I have one of those brown circles. So I feel like the brown circle looks better than a green circle. That's why I pre-cut some last time I was working on this stuff. You gotta press in the center, and then right up here we're gonna put that little heart. So I have one there on its back, I have one here on its front, so I'm gonna cheat and use this one because I don't have to worry about flipping it over. Okay. Now, we didn't cut out all the leaves or the branches or extra flowers, so I want to show you my original one that I did. And all you have to do is add that branch in there and then add a variety of the leaves. And remember, when you cut the leaves, you're going to cut 8 out all at once. It's going to be super easy to cut out, and then you're going to cut the top of the carrot out too. And so that carrot is going to end up looking like this once you put it together. So we're going to slip this carrot right into the little open hand there of the bunny. See how it just slips right in there? We could put that in there if we want. We could have the bunny holding a flower like that. We could have the bunny holding a heart. Like that. Just slip it down in there. Or we could have the bunny holding an apple. So maybe you're doing a card for a teacher and you want to make an apple card. Well, this is a little apple that also can be put all on the tree here. And you could use that as the apple, and then you can use one of these tiny leaves. If I have an extra leaf already cut, I don't know if I do. This is a big one, but you could put the little, I would use the littler version, but you could put that, you know, onto the apple and have like a little leaf sticking out of the top of the apple if you wanted to.
Question from Shar. Let's see. When we put the cling mat in the Misty, do we have to keep the top sheet on it?
No, you don't want to keep the top sheet on it when you use the grip mat because otherwise your stamp or your cardstock, nothing's going to grip to it. So you want your cardstock to be able to grip to it. So nope, you could take all of that off. All right, so I just glued that carrot in there. We can also bring his other hand out. Put that on the other side of the carrot like that. Now he's holding the carrot. You see that? And so my only thing that I didn't finish, obviously I put my sun here and my cloud over here, is building this branch. And this was just, I got a big blotch under there and then I tried to pull it off and I tore the paper, so I just put a little black piece of cardstock on there. But you see how, yes, the bird beak could be a little stem of the flower, and also one of the bird legs too could be the stem. Yes, definitely. So I would make one of these. You could see how easy it is to put together. I would make one of these and I would keep it with this sheet, because this is going to really, really help you be able to like look at all the little pieces that come off and say, all right, what direction do these legs go? Like, how do I put that all together? Just follow along with this video using the pause button and create your own little version of this, and then you're going to be able to use this set over and over and over again. You can swap out colors, you can do whatever you want. Now I want to show you a little card I made with all the animals. I haven't made, earlier I made this card in a video. You guys had seen that. And I also made this card in a video earlier this month. But I have one more card to show you that uses all animals. And this stamp set that also was part of the kit called Friendly Wishes. And I made a card that says, happy birthday from all of us. And then I put the whole gang on there, and I made this card. So this is one that I haven't taken a picture of and shared yet. So I'll be sharing this one in our Facebook group and also on the post tab here on my YouTube channel. Used to be the community tab, but they changed it now to the post tab. So make sure that you look for that, and you can always find all of the projects that I make in every video. After the video, I take some high quality pictures and I share them. So that is today's little tutorial on how to put all these together. And then that little card, I mean, one together, this is just of setting them up in a little scene. So, all right, well, we are going to give away a gift card. So Tom, are you ready to do that?
Let's do it.
All right.
All right, drum roll, please. Here we go. And the winner tonight is Kathy Myers. Kathy Myers, you're the winner.
Yay, Kathy. Congratulations, Kathy. All you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and we'll get that out to you. Well, if you liked tonight's video, and I sure hope that you did, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, we would really appreciate that. And if you're not a subscriber yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, if you aren't a member of our Facebook group, we would love to have you over there. It's called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can join us there, and all you have to do is answer a couple of security questions and agree to our rules, and we would love to have you. There's 48,000 members that are sharing their beautiful cards and projects using Gina K Designs products. And then, Brianne, huge shout out to you, my friend, for linking the products that I used tonight. If you missed any of the links and you're looking for anything that you saw here tonight, cardstock colors, you know, the tweezers, the pick and stick tool, the glue, any of that, you can head over to our website at ginakdesigns.com, and you will find everything that you need over there on our website. All right, now, Tom and I are going to be back on Thursday with another edition of our Master Layout series. On Thursday at noon, we'll be featuring, noon Central Time, we'll be featuring the new Master, well, not the new, but the Master Layouts 3 die set. That die set is a square design, and it was designed for square cards of all kinds, and also it fits in with our wreath builder, our original wreath builder, and it also fits with our mini wreath builder. So I've got lots of prep work to do for that and to get those documents ready for you guys to print. So I hope you will join us for that. If you haven't seen any of the Master Layouts die series yet, I highly encourage you to get caught up before Thursday. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel called Master Layout Series, and we've gone through Master Layouts 1 and Master Layouts 2. So I highly encourage you to check out those videos and then get ready for Master Layouts 3. So,
Wait.
Yes.
One more thing.
Yes.
Few people were concerned about you losing your roof die.
Oh, my roof die.
It was right by your right hand, I think.
Okay. Well, I will find it. It is here somewhere, and I will. Oh, I put it back on the magnet. It's right here.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Yeah, I put it back on the magnet. It's right here.
Okay. Good to go.
I must have done it like, just kind of subconsciously. So, all right. So, Tom, we've given away the gift card. We've done all the things, and we are excited to see all of you on Thursday. I love these Master Layouts videos. They are so fun. But I hope this one was informative too, and I hope that you will print this. Oh, and this sheet is available on the blog. If you joined late, this is available at ginakdesigns.com, and then just click on the blog tab, and you'll see templates and charts. Go to that, you'll see all the Master Layouts templates and charts and things, and you'll see all kinds of fancy folds, but you'll also see this one. So download this one, and then make your own little version of this, put them in a binder, and you will be ready to make all kinds of fun scene cards using the Spring Forest die set. All right, everybody. Well, we will look forward to seeing you on Thursday. And in the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.